Should I pay off my debt in one go? With limited savings and a credit card accumulating interest, our protagonists face a difficult decision. What is the best option to ensure financial stability and peace of mind? Let's explore the options. Now, let's take a look at the full story to better understand the situation. Pay my debt off in a lump sum. Hi, I am relatively new in the world of personal finance. I'm 28F. I'm doing really well and starting to become more aware of my finances and work on budgeting. As I was looking over my finances, I realized I have enough money in my savings to technically pay off my entire credit card. I have about $2,000 in checking and $9,000 in savings. My credit card is about $8,000. This is not my only debt, as I do still have about $6,000 in student loans and $2,000 in medical bills. I figured, since my credit card racks up the most interest, it's an Alaska Airlines credit card. Would it be a smart financial choice to just get rid of my credit card debt all at once? Or would it be smarter to just continue paying monthly, maybe a little higher than required? I guess I'm worried that draining my savings all at once might not be smart, but the thought of having so much debt freaks me out so much. Also, once I do eventually pay off my card, I plan to not use it except for emergencies. I've been good so far the last couple months of not adding any more expenses onto it. Any advice would help. Let's analyze some of the main comments. Virtual section says, you should absolutely pay off the credit card debt. I say that takes precedence over an emergency fund. I will get objectors here, because in the alternative, your cost of capital on the YEF is your credit card percent. Meanwhile, if you have no credit card debt, but an available line of credit, if you have an emergency before your YEF is built back up, you can draw down on the line and pay the interest on only the portion you use. Tackle things in order of interest rate. See if you can negotiate the medical debt down. Not sure what that situation was, but sometimes they'll accept 50 cents on the dollar or lower. Law says, yes, credit card debt is toxic, and you should always endeavor to avoid carrying a balance. Take your last 6 statements and add up what they have charged you in interest. It's usually pretty motivating. Then start building up an actual emergency fund. Credit cards should never be relied on for emergencies. DTK says, I'd say paying off debt comes before savings, simply because the interest is so high on debt, and the interest you gain in a savings account is not. And the longer the amounts are higher, the more you are paying. If you have an emergency, that is what credit cards are for. Well, and finally, my suggestion. My direct recommendation would be to pay off that credit card debt as soon as possible, especially since the interest is draining your money. Yes, draining your savings might feel scary, but letting that debt grow is even worse. However, make sure to keep at least a small emergency fund, around $1,000 to $2,000, to cover any unexpected expenses. In the long run, this will give you more peace of mind and financial relief than being stuck paying high interest. Once you're free from the credit card debt, focus on building better spending habits, using tools like Mint or Enab to keep your finances organized and avoid falling into this trap again. Now, the second story. Spiraling credit card debt. 31 years old, making give or take $50,000 per year with about $25K in credit card debt and $20K in auto loan debt. Some of the cards are getting out of control and considering letting a few go to charge-off/collections rather than trying to keep paying it down with the hope my other cards/payment history will help in the long run to offset the hit. I know I should not have gotten these cards, but expenses got out of control in between work gaps during the lockdown. Erase a breakdown. Information on the screen. Debt consolidation looks sketchy, and interest rates are also really high. So what's the point? Is it worth it? What about no-profit debt consolidation? Should I just let the cards with higher balances go to collections? Should I file for bankruptcy? Fish60 says. So, straight up, your plan of hoping some of these go to collections while you continue to rack up debt on the others is bad, and you shouldn't do it. Going to collections is far worse in the long run. Cut up all these cards today. Delete them from your phone and start living on cash/debit only. I'm sorry, but you aren't using them responsibly and will continue digging yourself deeper. I know it's hard to hear, but with this kind of debt and income, you are spending too much. You need to stop the bleeding. Now, on the bright side, it's only $25K. You can turn it around. It is not going to be easy, but if you make and stick to a budget, you can pay this off. Personally, even though it isn't mathematically optimal, I'd line those up smallest to largest balance and pay of some of the lower dollar amounts with a prejudice. I see $300, $500, and $800 in there. Get rid of them ASAP. Reduce the number of accounts and then close them. Take the next highest balance and repeat. It gets easier as you pay some off. and roll those payments onto the next balance. Google debt snowball. You can probably consolidate some of these as well. That will be easier if you pay some of the smaller ones off as well. Your car is tricky, since it is probably worth about what you owe, and you probably need it. Good rate. You probably can't afford it, but can't afford to sell it either. I'd keep for what it's worth. Good luck. I've been in a similar spot. It's tough, but you can do it. TLDR. Cut up your credit cards yesterday. Senkinator says. Straight up, we all had circumstances during CV. It sucked. But you're simply living a lifestyle you can't afford and want to just declare bankruptcy. 10 cc's plus a personal loan and a car payment with a $50,000 salary? How about you pay the highest interest on the biggest balance first, then go down the list, making minimum payments? That would be a pragmatic, practical, and rational approach. Bankruptcy doesn't really wipe your debt. It takes 7 years to even qualify to get things back together. Where are you going to be in 7 years? Whitehorse says. Personally, I'd take any second job I could and use the snowball method. Walk dogs on a rover, bartend, etc. Anything for 6 to 12 months. You need to put yourself in a mindset that you do not have any weekends to rest for the next year. If you could earn $500 to $1,000 over a weekend or 2 weekends, then you could easily knock out a few of the accounts that are under $1,000. Well, and finally, my suggestion. The solution here lies in tackling the problem head-on. Stop using credit cards immediately and adopt a snowball approach to paying off the smaller debts first. This will reduce the number of creditors and make the process easier to manage. The psychological boost of eliminating even small debts can provide the motivation to keep going. However, it's wise to balance this with a focus on the highest interest debts to minimize long-term financial losses. Additionally, finding ways to generate extra income, such as a temporary second job, can significantly speed up the process. Even small amounts of extra money, when applied strategically, can quickly eliminate smaller debts and free up more funds for larger ones. Avoiding bankruptcy and keeping debts out of collections should be the top priorities, as both scenarios could severely impact your financial future for years. With effort, focus, and discipline, it's possible to climb out of this situation, but immediate action is crucial. Cut unnecessary expenses and create a solid plan to pay off the debt. As the commenters pointed out, it's a difficult journey, but not an impossible one. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What would you do in this situation? Leave a comment and share your opinion. And if you have a similar story or experience that could help, feel free to share it as well. Who knows? It might feature in a future video. See you next time.